waters were not still. They were circling, restless, sucking down into a sinkhole, feeding the new riverfall I had created earlier that day. I waded into the waters and cupped my hands in order to drink from them, and then to throw water onto my face. Just like the rock and grass, I'd wondered whether it would feel different here in the world above. It was cool and delicious, and everything water had been back home. Relieved, I plunged my entire head inside and then re-emerged gasping. The long trails of my hair hung heavy, and the cool liquid dripped off my face. The world remained, proving to me one last time that I wasn't dreaming. My whole life, I'd been told the gods above would punish me for climbing out of the valley. Even now, though I knew that such scripture was a lie conceived to keep me and my people contained in the hollow, I still half expected a deity to reach down from the twilight and throttle me as punishment for my trespass. But nothing happened. I was alive and awake. This was the world. It was foreign and startling, yet the one I needed to traverse if I was going to find a cure for my father's illness. Sitting there in the pool, with my gaze still firmly fixed on the water, a wave of anxiety washed over me, and I thought about everything I had left behind in the valley. I thought about Rana, my little sister. Just days ago, she'd been a carefree little girl scampering about the jungle. But now I'd left her to look after my father, a surefire way to ensure that she would never be carefree again. I felt a yearning to be close to him, not because he could help me feel better, but because he was so ill that I worried I would not see him the way I knew he should be. Instead, his mind was consumed by shadows, swamped by a sickness which plunged his mind into the past instead of the present, all because he had tried to help me. No one in the hollow had ever seen anything like it, and it was the main reason I had decided to leave, to go and find someone who could help him. I'd been told that our enemy, the Light Guard, had the answers. So I was headed to them, into their city, to learn their ways and see how they could help me, and if they were willing. But I knew it wouldn't be easy. The only Light Guard I'd met had pretended to be a prophet, keeping us fearful of her false gods. When I had stood up to her, she had been powerful, weaving beams of light into a staggering variety of forms. To think that I would infiltrate a place full of such foes by myself, under this heavy sky, was a terrifying one. And then, finally, I thought of my childhood friend Yanenga. She was the person who I wanted more than anything to have with me now. Mostly because she was so capable. That was the reason why she'd stayed behind in the first place, to be a leader, along with Commander Corinthia, and keep the Hollow safe. There was another reason, too. I had a strange sense that we hadn't said goodbye properly, and that this was important for some reason. I wanted her to be right here so I could rectify that mistake, as mad as that sounded. I thought of all the people I was leaving behind. The temptation to turn around and shy away from this gargantuan sky was strong enough for me to turn back and look at the edge I had just crawled from. For a moment, I wondered what I would see if I walked back to the edge and saw my family and friends. I shook my head and turned away from everyone and everything I'd known until now. If I walked back to the edge and looked down, the temptation to climb right back down and return to my canyon would be too strong to overcome. I turned back to the water and cupped my hands, trapping the liquid as it swirled about me. I took a drink, and then another, and then just let my fingers play in the current for a minute, letting the continuous movement calm my mind. I let the circulation around me remind me of the power of anima, which ran through the energy channels in my body. Then I settled my thoughts, enough to focus on my next step. They would be small steps to begin with, one rock at a time. But I didn't really know where to start. I raised my head and looked around at my surroundings. I could still see the stone hut not far off, overlooking my home in the hollow. That's when the thought fully came to me. Why was there a hut